So like every trip, this one starts off with the gear table and everything from first aid to the tools that I will need to maintain this motorcycle. Then you have your electronics, so everything from the GoPro to the batteries for heated vests, for the GoPro itself, USB chargers, wires, tire pumps, all that fun stuff. And this is our cute little cat Keisha, and she's adorable and she wishes us luck. And this is the keys to the beast itself. Here we go. This is a 2001 K1200LT BMW, a 22-year wonder. I never thought I would end up on a motorcycle such as this. Honestly, this is not my type, not my vibe, but this has everything that you need to take a very long journey on. And here I am actually absolutely failing at putting away my gear. You will see that shortly. This has two non-removable saddlebags, which is great when you're stopping at random, sketchy, shady places that no one can just run off with your bags. And, yes, here we go. Watch this. That's not gonna lock. Nope. Not gonna work, Vic. There we go. And it has this one big case on top, the top case, which is so thought out because not only does it have a lot of space, and I don't think you could see it in this video, but it has a little light, just like you would in the car where the visor is. And it also has a little pull-out mirror, so if you need to look at yourself in the night, you can. So we're originally from Brooklyn, New York, where this trip has started, and here is every East Coaster's favorite toll booth, the Easy Pass. Let's get on through that real quick and be on the road. And I don't want to just talk about the various video clips that are here from the adventure itself, the 11 states, 2,070 miles. I want to talk about my own philosophy of motorcycle riding and just what got this whole trip started. I really wanted to get my significant other, my girlfriend, the love of my life, I wanted to get her into journeying and adventuring on two wheels. And I'm sure many dudes do that have bikes. And I knew that wasn't going to happen if I offered to do a trip on my daily, which is a 1998 Honda VFR. The small seat on the back hanging on to me for dear life, no luggage space. It just doesn't make sense. So we hopped up on Facebook and she was motivated and so was I. We started looking for a tour machine. And we came upon this after months of searching, and it was this purple BMW that was located in New Jersey. I took one of my friends and we went and we checked it out. And it had blown brake lines. It had a leaking clutch. And it was big and it was dirty and my feet barely touched the ground. And my friend told me, don't do this, don't buy this, let's find something else. And I bought it. I bought it and we towed it back to Low Tide Motors where I got to work on this machine and I got to know it very intimately. And by the way, I'm just gonna go ahead and sidetrack here. This is Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. And you see me swaying left and right on the roads because we're pretty high up in elevation for East Coast, about 3,500 feet. And the winds are strong up here and they will sway you left and right. And the views, however, are beautiful. Even though everything is dead and you don't get the beautiful greens, you still get pretty nice views. But back to my story. We towed this thing back. I call my girlfriend. I'm happy, I'm excited. Hey, come on over to Low Tide. So she came on by and I got her to sit in the back in the saddle over there. And she was so happy. She had a nice backrest. I put a Corbin backrest in there where you could rest your arms. Everything is heated, highway pegs, same as for me. And as soon as I saw the smile on her face and I knew that she was comfortable with it, I knew that we got to work on it. We got to make this thing drivable, rideable to take on long adventures. So I started ordering parts, and the first thing was, of course, replacing those old lines. Oh, by the way, this is my girl. Here's her and I enjoying our ride still through Shenandoah National Park. But I got those braided lines. I did all the basic maintenance, air filters, all the oil that needs to be changed from shaft to transmission to engine and to coolant, and even the suspension oil as well, in the rear, not just the front. New tires, new brakes, brake pads, the whole 9 yards this thing had. And why wouldn't you put so much effort into a machine that you're going to trust with your life and your significant other's life on a long journey like this? This thing has this front mirror, this windshield that moves up and down with the press of a button, heated steering grips, heated seats, highway pegs. I was in heaven. We were in heaven. This thing is amazing for long rides. This is actually a really pretty video clip right here. I love riding through the mountains. This guy looks good too. But with all of these options and all these creature comforts, I was ready to tackle the road. The only problem was there was really nowhere to go, and it was getting really cold, right? So we left late November. We came back early December. This is basically winter months here we're talking about. But something came up. My friend was graduating from all the way from Georgia, and he wanted me to be there on his big day. So I go over to my girl. I say, babe, we got this big road trip coming up, and we're going to take the motorcycle. We could take the plane. We could take the car. But there's just something about doing this whole thing on two wheels. This was a first big adventure for me, and this was the first big adventure for her as well. So with the machine tidied up and all the maintenance done, and the clutch changed as well by a professional BMW mechanic, and some words of inspiration from a very good friend and a fellow adventurer, Axel, who I will link his profile to here as well, we set out on this journey. And what a journey it has been. Through 11 states, right? We left New York, New Jersey, we did Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and finally Georgia. And I may be missing a few there, I'm not sure. But 2,070 miles of nothing but smiles. I could definitely put it like that. Being on the road, either it's highways or back roads, on two wheels is a different feel. When it's cold, and the weather did range between 27 to around 65 degrees, depending where we were in the country. Leaving Jersey at night, 27 degrees with wind chill, not fun. We were cold. Although we have all the comforts of the motorcycle, you're still out in the open. And cold is cold, and wind is wind, and you just gotta tuck in, and you gotta keep on trucking. But when we entered Georgia, and we saw trees for the first time, like trees that have green leaves on them, and temperatures rising to about 60-65 degrees, you just understand when you feel it on your own body the difference of cold wind chill and then sun rays that hit you. And that feels so good. It's a story that you remember for a longer time. It's not like in a car where you're cold, you turn on the air conditioner, you're hot, you turn on the heater. This was different. This, you felt everything on your skin. And not just that, also the different scents and the smells and everything from the pine trees to the cold, crispy wind to truckers honking along the way. When you give them the big choo-choo and they honk their horn, and the camaraderie you feel of motorcyclists and truckers on the road just going somewhere far, and it's almost romantic. And you have your girlfriend in the back that you love to death, and you're gonna go and you're gonna see your best friend, and it's just the anticipation of what's to come on such an adventure. It's nothing but good. Good feelings, good feels all around. So we did make it to my friend's graduation, and we made it to this big day, and the bike got us there, and all the little motels, hotels, and Airbnbs that we stopped along the way. It was a 4 or 5 day trip just to get there, and all the small abandoned towns that we went through in the Carolinas. And I just want to take a quick second here to just admire this beautiful entrance to a museum in Georgia, plantation. Look at these trees, look at this dirt road, the way that the sun is shining through you. This is the sun rays that I was talking about. They're shining through the trees right onto you, and it just feels so warm. I look at these videos and I could feel what I felt. when I was there. And if we keep going, there's going to be another video here coming up, and it will be us riding through this very old cemetery, and that's this right here. And it's an even worse road. We're on it on this bike that now weighs probably a bit over 1,000 pounds. So it's 800 from factory, but 2 people plus luggage. It's a heavy bike. It has a high center of gravity, and yes, my toes touch the ground, but that's pretty much it. I cannot flat foot this thing, but that's okay. You get used to it. It's just another one of those things that you get used to it and you keep on going. But being out on the roads in the wind, there's nothing like it. I can't say this enough, and I can't even express this enough I don't even know if there's enough words in the English language of the sensory overload that you feel riding a motorcycle. Not the sensory overload that you get from doom scrolling at 3 a.m. on social media, or all the commercials and news and the TVs that you got in your house, but the sensory overload of just being out in nature, out in the wild, away from city, away from civilization. You get a nomadic feel. It's just you and your girl and your motorcycle, and you only have each other. You have nothing else out here. There's no one to call for help. There's no one nearby. It's just you guys and the motorcycle, the bond that you create with it. You know when to change the gears. You know when it's happy in the rev range. You know when you need to, fill up for gas. I hope everyone knows that one. But you become one with the machine, and my friends always laugh when I say that, but it's true. You do become one with the machine, and then it's very hard to part ways with it, which is why I never sell my bikes. I keep them, I further upgrade them to how I want them, and I keep riding them. And that's what, in my opinion, that's what life is all about. And just look at this thing. Look how massive this thing looks, right? I call it the Cyclops sometimes because it's just got that one big light in the front. But my friends dearly called it Eggplant. So that's the code name for this BMW. It is the Eggplant because it's big, it's purple. We use the emojis for it, and I just find that very funny. So shout out for them for such a great nickname. Now, on the way back, after experiencing all of that excitement, all of that happiness of seeing your friend, meeting other people that became your friends, and I remember we were in this hotel lounge into the night, just talking and laughing, reminiscing on this trip and just swapping stories of adventure with each other. It was time to go back home. And that's when trouble arose. Nothing too bad, but it started pouring rain, and it was promised that it would be later on in the day, but it was at 2 p.m. I remember this very well when I first saw rain on the windshield, and it just rained non-stop. That day we did over 8 hours on the road, and we hit over 660 miles in the saddle in this rain. And this looks different from the GoPro, but in real life, this road right here scared me. You were so close to oncoming traffic. It was really interesting. But we pulled over late at night at the New Jersey Turnpike because it was raining so hard that my visibility was maybe 20%. I couldn't even see the white lines on the road. So I knew it was time to pull over. It was time to get hot again, get some hot tea, hot coffee, and some snacks, use the bathroom, and just dry up because we were not only soaking wet, although we did have heated gear. We had heated vests, and my girl had heated socks, but that's it. But it was still all wet. We're still on a motorcycle. So after warm drinks and after some snacks, we got back on the road, which will be shown on later in the video, and I will definitely refer that to. Actually, here it is right now. We're approaching a bridge, and this is awesome. I really like this shot. It's kind of raining. It's kind of mysterious. It's foggy. It was really strong fog out, and these red lights. They decided to just light up the bridge red. Don't know why specifically red. I think it usually goes all kinds of different colors, but I don't know, maybe it's better to see in the night. I don't think so. But nonetheless, it was pretty cool. And this is for all the local New Yorkers. This is the lower level Verrazano Bridge. After 2,070 miles, you see that there's only 2 miles left to get home. you get a feeling of excitement. You're upset that you're off the road, but you're happy to be back home. And I just want to thank you guys for sharing this trip with me and just reminiscing, going down memory lane.